Oh,
It
it's going.
shows we are live.
Okay, is that my Facebook Live now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it says it's directing. All right. So welcome in, everybody. I am going to do a quick screen share for you guys so you can see my screen on this PowerPoint. I hope everyone can see this. If you cannot, please let me know. All right, welcome in. So tonight we are doing episode 1 of what I'm calling our ingredient throwdown. And I'm super excited about this series because, as y'all know, I am super passionate about all of our products, and specifically this first one because it just got launched. This is going to be the episode 1 of our product AbVantage. And I'm going to do a whole kind of history or little lesson and how the product is created, how it works in our body, and a little bit about your body and why it actually works so well. So we know, or many of you have been on our product Skinny Drops or Slender Eyes. And I want to ask, have you lost weight on it? Have you had good side effects on it? But are you still like, how am I going to get rid of this? Like, you could even put a 1 in the chat if you're like, yeah, I feel better, sleeping better, I have more energy, but gosh, I'm still got that little bit of that belly pooch that I just wish could go away. Can I get some 1 in the chats? Because I know I was there a little bit. I had a little bit of something right under my belly button. I was like, how am I going to get rid of that? And men, don't get me wrong, you have it too. So what could we do? We have good results on the drops, but there's still a little something hanging out that I like to call stubborn belly fat. And it is stubborn, right? Stubborn belly fat is stubborn. It is visceral fat, it's subcutaneous fat, it is white adipose tissue. It is not the good fat. It's not what we like. It is what we like to call bad fat. And there is a difference. There is a difference in good and bad fat. At one point in my life, I just thought all fat was bad fat. Like, you couldn't have convinced me there was good fat, but there is. Okay, we have white fat and we have brown fat. And believe it or not, brown fat is good fat. White fat is not. So white fat is white adipose tissue. It is visceral fat. Is that a subcutaneous fat? It is the fat you can pinch. It's the fat you can see. It is also the fat that is stored around your organs. It is not the good kind. It is not good for you. It causes obesity. It can cause heart disease, diabetes, all the things that can lead to maybe even some degenerative disease, okay? So again, I kind of pointed out where is it located, but it is larger deposits in the abdomen, thighs, hips. So we're going to be talking about how this product could work for those areas. And again, it is the dangerous type when it is in abundance. Yeah, we are going to store some. Our body is naturally going to store some for energy, but too much of it is bad. All right. So let's talk about brown fat. And brown fat, again, I was like, there's a good type of fat here, but brown fat is actually good for you. It is going to be around your neck, shoulders. You could even have some a little bit around your kidneys. You could even have some a little bit around your heart. That's not a bad thing either, and your spinal cord. Brown fat looks different. It acts different. It's actually metabolically active. It is not a passive fat. White fat basically does nothing, just sits there, is very passive, just waits to be used. It's stored up and just waiting to be used up. That is not how brown fat works. Brown fat is very metabolically active, and it's an energy, it's being energy sourced. It is wanting to heat your body up. Okay, so that is what it is. Brown fat helps regulate body temperature, specifically in cold conditions. It does eat up white fat when needed, and it's going to help your body burn calories. So brown fat, if you look at this chart here, you see the difference in way it looks. White fat has big lipid droplets. Brown fat does not. Brown fat has lots of mitochondria in it. So what is mitochondria? If you don't know what mitochondria is the powerhouse of all of our cells, even fat cells. And you can look at the white fat cell and see there's not much mitochondria in there, right? But look at the brown fat. It's loaded with mitochondria, and that's really telling of a cell when it's loaded with mitochondria because it means it's very metabolically active. Okay, that means it's using a lot of energy, which is a very good thing. Okay, specifically when we're talking about fat burning, but in general, it's a very good thing. It's using a lot of energy, so it's burning calories here. Okay, so look at the difference. And this is why brown fat has its color. Brown fat is brown, white fat is white. Brown because of the mitochondria and the iron inside that mitochondria. And the composition of that is the iron-rich proteins, which gives the brown fat its color. And the function of that is going to be to generate heat, keep you warm. And again, we want to do that because we want to burn those calories. If you want to take pictures of this, just so you can think, people start asking you questions. What's the difference? Like, what's the difference in a white fat and a brown fat? Again, brown and white fat, the large fat droplets, more numerous cells. You're going to have way more white fat in your body compared to brown fat. That doesn't mean you can't accumulate more brown fat or get your brown fat working again, getting it more active. We want to do that, but typically as you age, your brown fat starts working less and less. A lot of that is because why? Well, if you get older, you put on a coat. You don't eat as well. You don't exercise as much as you get colder or as you get older. So you're less likely to use your brown fat stores. Okay, so it's less numerous. White fat stores energy. These are just things you can remember. White fat stores energy. Brown fat burns energy. White fat has a very low metabolic rate. White fat has a high metabolic rate. Again, that's because of the mitochondria, and it is creating that thermogenesis. White fat. This is very telling right here. When you have a very high amount of white fat, you are way more risk for things like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, all those things we know that lead to illness, sometimes your white fat is responsible for. And here's the thing, when your brown fat is activated and working for you, those conditions actually decrease. So again, brown fat is good for you, white fat is not. And then our white fat is located bellies, thighs, hips, under the skin. You can see it, visceral fat could be around major organs. We know that that is not healthy, not good for you. And then our brown fat is located around up in here, shoulders, a little bit in the neck, and it's very small, all right? And white fat does not get activated, it just gets weight to use, and a brown fat is a very active fat. So now let's talk, now you know the difference, and you're thinking, oh gosh, I know I was thinking, I want to either make more brown fat, or how do I activate what I have? Okay, because you have some, everybody has it. We just need to get it working for you. How do I get my brown fat rolling again? How do I get it activated again? So here are some ways that you can naturally do that. Cold exposure. Cold plunges are very popular right now. I personally hate them. I do not like being cold. I do not want to jump in a cold ice bath. I don't want to go in the snow and do those snow angels. I mean, I'm just not interested in that. I don't like being cold, but I understand that that does activate brown fat. Okay, so cold exposure, making your body shiver, or just being outside getting cold will make your body's natural brown fat start working because it says, I got to heat her up. right? I got to get her warm again. I got to create thermogenesis. I got to make her body regulate, her body temperature regulated. That will activate your brown fat. Exercise will also activate your brown fat. Specifically, HIIT training can, so high intensity HIIT training, but let's get real. Some people can't do that. Or let's get real, some people don't want to do that. I mean, I understand. I like to exercise, but I get some people don't. My dad's not going to go do that. No, I hope he's watching this. I'm just calling him out, but he's not going to do that. But I still want his brown fat to get activated. So diet. There are things you can eat, and there are supplements that you can use that can also activate your brown fat. Omega-3 fatty acids, fish oil. That is one way that you can get your brown fat working in your favor again. Eat fish. Take an omega-3 supplement. We have a really good one. Peppers, capsaicin. You know, when you eat spicy stuff, you get warm, right? It is your body getting heated up. So that is another way. And then, of course, we have a ingredient now called grains of paradise that has been researched thoroughly that also acts as a thermogenesis that is proven to create thermogenesis in your body and activate brown fat. So let's get to that. This is the natural solution, and this is called AbVantage. And if you've not tried it yet, it is stimulant free, it's plant-based, in capsule. We have lots of research on this little product. And here are our ingredients. Grains of paradise, which I told you about, L-tyrosine, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, and chromium. And I'm going to go through each of them for you. So let's go through the B3 first. And let's talk about what each ingredient specifically does in the makeup of the product and how this product, one, can be a waste and hair producer and create thermogenesis, and one, activate that brown fat, but also help get that storage in those troublesome areas shrunk. Okay, so B3, that's the first ingredient I want to talk about. So B3 is nice, and it is not a direct fat burner, but it does play a role in fat metabolism by influencing how your body actually processes lipids, so processes fats. So when you put that in with a weight loss efforts, whether it's exercise or diets, it is going to help promote this weight loss and fat loss. The B6. Again, B6 can help play a role in fat burning with the metabolism of fats, meaning it helps the body break down the stored fats that you have used. Stored fats. Stored fats are the white adipose tissue, okay? And I also wanted to throw in that B6 is amazing for protein metabolism, and which is really important for maintaining muscle mass. And you want to maintain muscle mass at all cost, but especially if you're trying to lose any kind of amounts of fat, because when you do any kind of caloric decrease or you're in an exercise program, you want to be able to hold on to any muscle and protein, because that is going to help your metabolism fuel up, and we don't want to lose any muscle mass, because again, it's going to help your help metabolism, but you don't want to be at risk for muscle loss and atrophy here. So B6 is important in this. Chromium. I don't know if anybody's used the product yet, but I noticed when I first started using it that my appetite was decreased. That is going to be directly related to this ingredient. I just didn't get as hungry. And chromium is an appetite suppressant, and it will promote satiation. So you just get full faster, or you're just, you don't have as many cravings. So that can be a plus when you're trying to use the product as well. And then, of course, it can help increase metabolism. And it does help with insulin sensitivity. So we obviously know it's very good to keep our insulin stable. When we have insulin spiking, we are in fat storing mode, not fat burning mode. So chromium can help keep the level playing field again here too. L-tyrosine. So this is an amino acid. This is actually one of my favorite ingredients in the product besides the grains of paradise that I'll talk about last. This is an amino acid that helps with neurotransmission of the dopamine and norepinephrine. This actually helps chemicals in your brain to make you happy. It makes you feel good. It's like a secondary mood lift. Many of you probably use the drops for mood, right? I know I'm one of those like the rhodiola, the ashwagandha. But this is like that second jolt. And when I use this product, I actually have a really nice focus. It's not a stimulant. It's not that I don't get a caffeine hit. I just, again, get like a secondary lift and I can focus. And we know that these two chemicals can be directly related to keeping cortisol down too, which is also very important when we are talking about controlling belly fat. Cortisol is directly related to belly fat, right? Cortisol is also a sister hormone to insulin. So if cortisol is up, insulin will be up. Again, you are in fat storing mode, not fat burning mode. So I love that this product is in there because one, it keeps me not stressed because I feel good, I'm focused, and I'm getting stuff done. So cortisol stays down. And I mean, again, it's kind of like a happy little amino acid hit. So I love this ingredient. Now let's talk about the one that actually creates the heat. This is the grains of paradise, okay? This is the one that does increase the thermogenesis in the body. This is the one that's going to burn the calories by 10, okay? They say it can be up to 100 extra calories a day. I think some people could probably be more depending on your size, not sure, but the research shows about 100 extra a day. So this is the one that's going to help activate the brown adipose tissue. And there has been research out there that says not only does this ingredient revive brown adipose tissue, but it improves its activity. So long-term use of this ingredient is completely fine because you want to keep your um, brown adipose tissue working. You don't want it to go away. And if you don't use it, as they say, you lose it. And it's certainly not a fat that you want to lose because this is going to help keep you lean. It keeps your body functioning. And your fat stores, I think, normal now that the more I've researched about it. Visceral fat is very dangerous. And so more research has shown that this specific fat staying high and working in your favor can keep visceral fat and subcutaneous fat lowered. So I'm super passionate now about learning more into the grains of paradise, and I definitely think this is one that this product is one that you can take long term. And I'm super excited to see people's results on this. So let's look at the actual advantages of AbVantage. It can increase calories burned by 10 times, so you do get leaner faster. It helps reduce stubborn visceral fat. Specifically, we talk about waist and hips because that is where you store it. But let me tell you, it can be all over. You don't just store it there. You can notice that you will lose it all over. Just people typically store their visceral fat in their hips and their waist. We will be boosting our metabolism. Fat burning goes up because of the brown adipose, and we want to help prevent weight regain. So I think this is a great maintenance product for people who have been using the drops to keep them from going back up. But it's also a great plateau breaker if you're finding yourself, oh, I've hit a plateau. This might be just the next ticket to break your plateau, or again, just get over that little pooch that you're not liking. So these were my results in the trial. I think a lot of people have seen them, but I have lost 14 pounds, about 3.5 inches now on my waist. I need to do a whole nother another after picture because this was a few weeks ago, and I just keep, having great results. So I tell people the drops are amazing when you can add this product with it because it really is the total package. Many of you have tried the drops already, and now you will be adding this to your regimen. But when you start putting the two together on the front end, I do think results are absolutely going to accelerate that much faster. So I hope that this helps people and you learn something about white adipose tissue versus brown adipose tissue. And we want to keep that brown tissue, as that brown fat, absolutely thriving and growing and doing its job. So if you haven't gotten a bottle of this yet, I encourage you to. I think I have about 12 on the way. So I hope to see you next Thursday, and we will be back again for the next ingredient throwdown.